It's good YouTube. It's the king here. Aqua Life, baby. You already know how it is. How about that ban list, though? How about that ban list, though? I like it. I actually like it. Bushi Roads actually come out with I had my doubts, but Bushi Roads come out with an actual ban list this time. And you know, a few things to help, I guess, fix the format, or at least put the format in a transitional state for whatever the upcoming support is. So, I mean, hey, looks good. I guess quick notes before that. Aquaforce, we got the sneak peek this weekend for Revonn, Claret, and Vanquisher, and then we got the set comes out next week. I already have my case split all paid for and everything like that, so you guys will I will have my camera, I will have my tripod and everything, so you guys will be getting a deck profile as soon as I get my split and Eric, you know, sleeve up the deck. You will get a deck profile immediately, as well as we are going to be doing a heavy amount of play testing on that day that we get the stuff, so you guys will be seeing some videos from there as well. I will just upload them as we complete them, so definitely look forward to a heavy uptick in content when Revonn definitely drops. And I'm probably gonna enter the sneak peek because I'm looking for high rarity cards anyways, so you'll probably get a sneak video too, maybe. Now, going into this ban list, again, I had a few reserves about what should be hit and what's going to be hit, and pretty much the clans I thought that were going to be hit got hit, but probably not in the way I thought. Starting out with Riviere, I figured that for Riviere, my fix to Riviere would probably have been to ban Caro and the grade 2 Coral from being able to exist in the same deck as Riviere, but they went and just made Riviere a once per turn skill, which I believe that's how her skill should have been originally. I think that that was just another one of those Bushi design flaws in the card, and I'm glad that she got the once per turn. So yes, you still get the restand turn, but you're not going to get your opponent spamming grade 3s on you, you know, 3 to 4 times per turn, and then the following turn they refuel up with, you know, using Caro, then using the grade 3 to add the Rivieres back to hand from the drop zone, and you know, all that noise. So definitely happy to see that, but the deck is still good. The deck is still going to be very strong in the game. Definitely don't sleep on it. And if you're playing Riviere, you know, I don't think you need to sell the deck for any reason. It's going to be good for the foreseeable future, but you know, it's kind of just like, you know, calm your ass. This is what this should have been. As far as we go for Anger Blader for Tachikaze's, I explained this before, but I felt as if Anger Blader did need to get hit. I was thinking maybe get hit down to 2, but they hit him all the way down to 1 copy of in your deck. So I think that was an appropriate hit in a way, and probably this might be just a tentative hit till we see what Tachi's new support is. For the fact is that, you know, you had Sweeper, and yes, I understand the Sweeper was the, you know, one of your, you know, I guess your main is one of your main offensive units. You also have a grade 1 who does the same thing as Sweeper, except without the built-in protection and gauge, you know, engage addition. But what Anger Blader did to me was, I think that Anger Blader was a poorly designed card, and I felt as if, you know, the way that card is designed, you know, in combination with Sweeper, was bad design. And for the future support with Tachi's, especially since Tachi's new mechanic is this gauge mechanic, and that's what they're going to be playing off of, I think Anger Blader would have ruined the ability to create, you know, good future support for Tachikaze's. And the reason why I say this, because he has an ability ability in which you can, for as much hand as you have or field, whatever it is, you can continue to blow up your opponent's board for free by just, turning the cards into gauge. And, for however amount of hand it is, you don't even need to play crits like that. You just play like the 8 draw triggers just to keep your hand up and just to keep staying engaged, because your opponent can't stop it anyways. And then his other ability is for 1 counterblast to stand 3 units. I think they need to have 3 or more gauge on them. I mean, with Sweeper, you put like 5 gauge on him, and he's at a near unblockable number turn by turn, and you're gonna have to deal with 2 attacks from him. If you have multiple copies of Sweeper on the board, then that's just a problematic board state, that you can't get rid of unless you have a board clear. You have the grade 1 who is susceptible to spot removal. However, that card, at least offensively, can get dumb in combination with Sweeper, because they're just going to be hitting you for high raw numbers. And for a low cost of a counterblast 1, you stand up to 3. They could potentially get off. They get off like 7 attacks with just those 4 cards, and 3 of those attacks are 40. 30 plus. So I just, and again, Anger Blader can get rid of your board at any point in time. So it's I think that was an appropriate hit for Tachi's as far as the future development of cards goes, and it forces you to play, I guess, wave 1 Tachi's. But I think that the majority of people have agreed that they're just going to drop Tachi's altogether. So there's that, the death of Tachikaze's in standard format. Going into Silverthorn, Dorian gets hit to 1. The deck is still, I guess, solid, but you still have your offense in being able to spit out a board with Lukier. You spell out a board with Lukier, get some nice get a huge burst turn in, put on a lot of offense, and then go into your next turn. I think Dorian is the one who sucks in your card, so at least you get 1 turn of her, and if you get board cleared or something like that, you still have an ability to counterblast 2 and call some cards out. But Dorian, I think that the biggest problem with her was that you have this huge burst turn, and then after your burst turn, you get to draw a ton of cards. And then in the turn, it's kind of like Lukier's discard cost didn't, cost you anything. You discard 1 for Lukier's ability, spit out a board, get out a multitude of attacks, then you get to Dorian, you put your stuff back in your soul, you draw cards off of Dorian's skill, then you add a grade 3 from your soul into your hand, which sets up another ride. So you set up another ride, you draw a bunch of cards, so essentially you can +4 to hand for as many cards as you sucked back in per her skill. And I think that, again, that just really hurt your defensive capabilities in Silverthorn, but I don't think your offense has been hurt that much. I guess you're gonna have to get a little bit more creative in how you're gonna call things out. It probably does hurt, I guess, the grade 2 ones, because for a counterblast 2, if you're only calling out like 2 cards because you still have a full type of board, then it's kind of you feel like the cost doesn't match the the amount that you called out. But it is what it is with that. And then going into but I think it's going to be an okay deck, but I definitely see a heavy drop in play of Silverthorns. Not that it was heavy to begin with, but I think that by its showing at Worlds and what Dorian could do, I think that's why that had to go. And then for Shiryuki got hit to 1. I've been asking for this, actually. I was asking for Shiryuki to get hit to 1. I was thinking maybe an outright ban of the card, but her getting hit to 1 means you can just tech her in and use her skill, I guess use her skill once, so to speak, as a tech option now for Murakumos, and they play a lot of options, so you can still tech her in. But I felt as if that the 12 card engine for Murakumos, between 4 copies of Rainy Madam, Jakotsu Girl, and Shiryuki was a bit too much. It would hurt hurt the future. Again, it would hurt the future design of Murakumo's, which we have confirmation of getting support this year, because you can just fit that. You can fit that 12 card engine into any Murakumo deck, and in Hyuga's already a fantastic card. It's a card that has a built-in board clear, has an ability to call cards to the board, and the support around him just make the deck a whole lot better, with Haki Vogue's ability for power gain, Meomaru doing what it does, things like that. So the deck is already solid in what it does, and Shiryuki just added an unnecessary, it really just added kind of like, I guess, an overpowered defensive mechanic that they had to reduce your opponent's Vanguard's power by 10,000. And offensively, Murakumo is already strong, but adding the fact that you can still drop a Shiryuki or two and subtract the opponent's Vanguard's power, it was just it just became a little bit overwhelming, so to speak. So the Murakumos are still a good deck, don't get me wrong, they're still a good deck, but I think that the Shiryuki engine, also with Shiryuki engine, you had so many ways to build up soul as well, so her skill was just live everywhere, and you can drop multiple Shiryukis in turn. I've had triple Shiryuki dropped on me before, so I just think that that was a good hit, and it'll force Murakumo players to actually start using the card pool instead of relying on that engine to supplement and supplement for their lack of defense or whatever, because they do still have decent defensive options. You just have to play around it and play a little better, and it'll bring forth more to your deck building inventory, so to speak. And then I guess Melody's back at full power again. I don't think anyone's really playing Melody like that, but Melody's at full power again. I guess that was one of those tentative, like, we'll hit this thing here, and because Bermudas were dominating the format, and now that is Riviere now and not just Melody all over the place, we'll see how where Melody stacks up. Right now they don't feel like Melody's going to be a problem anymore. I don't either, but again, that's still yet to be seen. Otherwise, for premium, the hits, I guess that opens up the door for Dark Irregular, for Gas Steel, and Neo Nectars to run the format now. Ezel's still decent, I guess, but looks like Neo Nectars and DI are going to run the premium format. Maybe Luard a little bit too, but we'll see on that category as well. But overall, I do like the change. I do like the ban list. I do like the changes. There are some things I might be keeping my eye on as far as what could get hit on the next list, but I'll save that for another day. Otherwise, yeah, let me know what you guys' thoughts are. Sorry if you're playing sorry if your deck dies, if your deck died or you felt like it dies, but things needed to happen. All right, Cardfight King, Aqua Life Baby, you already know what it is. We out.